I mean, we just talked about, you know, like, we don't know this imbalance is coming. We just got out at 30s there. Like, I don't know this imbalance is coming. It's just, you know, it goes to talking about what we talked about before. And like I was mentioning to you when Brendan messaged me and says, what are we looking for in the pre-market? And it's like, we're just looking for momentum and the plays. I don't know what's holding right now, 129. I don't know. We just got out of a piece up there at 129.25. We were just sitting there at the quarters. We're sitting there again right now to get out of another piece because look, there's a big seller at 129 right now. It's not, look at this. Look at the shares going through. This is 100 shares. So I just saw thousands go through at 129. Right? And so there's definitely, please pay attention to this. If you are trading with me immediately right now, it's 927 and there is a sell. When it breaks this thing's going to 130, maybe immediately. But the thing is right now, it's not, like, look at it. Look at the hundreds. I mean, now it's slowed down, but there it is. Look at that. Hundreds and hundreds of shares going through when all that's posted is 1,000 shares. And there was ones there as well. So not only they're reserving on ARCA, they were also reserving on NASDAQ. There it goes again. Look at this. Look at the shares going through and then look at the size here, right? And it's not just all, look, there's a 2,000 share print and it's not just dark pools. This is lit market action right now, live prints, not able to break 129. So we'll wait for this. The position board's not working again. There it is. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Let's see if we can get going now for NVIDIA. We're offering 129.30. Let's see if we can get that out right now, but there appears to be a little bit of sell action. There it goes. Yes, sir. We just called this play again. Let's see what winds up happening now through 129 and change. There it goes. Oh, now it shows me short. Okay. Well, the position board is way off. If I am short NVIDIA, please call some kind of emergency services because something is wrong with me. All right, let's go back over to the desk. Oh yeah, Apple, by the way, is on here. We're going long Apple, but with only 2 minutes to go. You're gonna have to hear me talk about it while the market's open.
We're continuing with these lesser known patterns today. We're gonna talk about the 3 inside up and 3 inside down pattern on how to trade. If you're into that kind of thing, catch it with Adair and I on how to trade at 11.
Yeah, so very quickly here with Apple, you saw that big sell event, 220 was the high, like 3 or 4 times it attempted to break 220. If it gets up there, based on what I saw when I was trying breakout trades on Apple, I would short the 220 level. At least that's the spot that I would attempt it because that was the only place that it showed weakness for real in yesterday's trade. We're trading away from the bottom, which is this 212, 213. That's what I like for dip buys. I just like the support that got put in the pre-market and got put in the aftermarket for Apple. If it does break that down, you know, you got to go all the way back into 05s and 08s and that kind of stuff. So I always want to play the range that we saw in the afternoon on Apple there. So it's tracking toward 215. I'm not really looking breakout. I think this is more of a dip buy based on the heavy action that we saw going into that close yesterday. It was nasty to the downside. There was a break on that small cap stock, that BRDX. It did actually go through that $2. I said I wouldn't take the break pre-market. So if you have it, good luck. I think it's not that big of a hold candidate. GameStop, on the other hand, could be off of that open. I'm on the bid, but I'm about to cancel my NVIDIA bid. I have a rule about how far away I have bids and breakouts. It's now closer to a 130 break than it is to a 127 dip buy. So I think the first look would be a break 130. If it doesn't do that, then I'll still be on the bid for 127, but it's too far away from that. With only 10 seconds to go, let's get the countdown going on this Thursday. Adara, let's ring it in actually 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go.
All right, here we go, man. We're going to take a 130 break on NVIDIA. We're already cruising on this name, but again, we would not be surprised if there is a dip buy opportunity like we had yesterday on NVIDIA, and if that does wind up happening, let's go dip buying at those levels we talked about, 128, 128.50 or something for NVIDIA. I still like so we got some out there at 50s or so. I still like the 130 breakout on this back down into 128.50. I feel like that's going to be the next area to buy, which is where we are long. I don't know what the position board's just not working, which is fine. We'll get it working soon. Tesla is doing the tank that we said it would do, but doesn't mean that we're not getting long. We just got to wait. We just got to wait for it here on Tesla with a little bit of a pullback. So I'm going to hold off on trying to buy Tesla here. I'm not sure about what that pay package, why it's up that much on that news, because, I mean, I don't know. But all right, so we'll wait for that one. We do know that we like Apple though, of course, and we do know that we like NVIDIA. Those are the two names.
Yeah, actually,
right
yes.
now, I'm only in NVIDIA, and I'm in NVIDIA long at 128.70 right now. So let me take out another piece right here. We'll take another piece out right now at 70s, and there it goes, man. Hopefully we can there's the price. So now we're long. You see what we're doing right now on NVIDIA. It's already right there. It's a banger. It's $1 in the money already here on NVIDIA. We took this trade with confidence. Let's take the 130 break as well. That's going to be a dangerous, that's going to be dangerous, I feel like. But with the market just doing this, imagine if the market blows up, then to the upside, then I think that we should be able to get something there. Tesla's
blow up
trying
to the upside.
Yeah.
That is the key. You don't want it to actually blow up. So while that happened, I did get Tesla a couple of times on dip buys in here through 187. But I was about to tell you, I scalped some out there the first time, the $0.50, then it got to 188, then the curl back in. So it doesn't hold the 187 after all. That's a huge gap. I said 83 after this level, and so that's what we'll have to wait for. But we got a couple of quick executions on those bounce plays. GameStop, nothing really happening. Longeveron, by the way, is holding that 250 level and looking pretty good. I have my order set for a break on NVIDIA if it does go, but it's dancing between 129 and 130. Said I would short Intel if there was strength in Intel to be shorted. As you can see, it just broke down lower. So I'll give it a chance that maybe you can still make a move with the market here. For now, I wanted to short a pop. We're not going to get it. Apple, no dip buy to be had. It's through 215 and continuing to go higher. So Apple looking incredibly strong.
Yeah, we are face slapping it on Apple. We're in Apple right now, but just at 250. So as Neil said, no real dip buys. Let's just sit in it and see what it wants to do. Oh, sorry, here it is right here. There's Apple. So we did take some out at 20s, but I don't know. I'm trying to support basically this 213.50 area. Let's see if we can get back into that area for more dip buys. But here we go, man. Let's hot dog cannon it again. I mean, we're gonna go 2 for 2 here. So far, it's really early. It's only 9:33, but we're long Apple and we're long NVIDIA, the two top names here on the sticky note, and they're both just rocking right now. There's 50 cents in the money right now for Apple. 50 cents. Here's 70 cents in the money for Apple. 70 cents. Here's almost 80 cents. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye on Billy here. This one was really strong in the pre-market. Now up over 10% on volume. Not seeing any news on this, but Chinese ADR, BILI. Nice look here, guys.
I know you're obsessed with
trades.
Billy. Oh my goodness.
Who is?
This morning. Oh. Just say Adara was enamored with Billy and couldn't find news on it, and we're like, who knows what's going on with Billy? Come on, we got everything else going. No, 87 just came right back in for Tesla. It's another 40, 50 cent scalp trade, but I'm gonna have to keep these stops tight because it's not really giving the bounce that I want into VWAP. So if we do get a little something bigger, we're gonna hold for some 88s, but I have a higher low stop out. There it is. Pretty much the same level, like this 186.75. So we'll stay up on it because we're taking some profits. Longeveron also it didn't tank. I said tank in the chat, apologies for saying tank, but it just made a huge reversal. $2 is the level I liked. It's tracking down toward this $2 level as we speak. So if it's gonna bounce somewhere, $2 is about the only place that I'm interested in picking this one up. So I'm taking a couple shots at Tesla, been profitable, but no real big move to the breakout. Still no 130 breakout on NVIDIA, unfortunately, but it is getting pretty close. And apparently Mara is going to the upside as well. I'll track that in a second, but I'm looking for a Longeveron dip buy first.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so let's watch out. Here comes NVIDIA pretty quickly back into the downside right there. So again, the party's not gonna stay forever. So you're gonna have to be very, very careful with what you're doing here, as I will have to be. I mean, it's not you guys. I'm in this position right now, and if you guys are as well, just be careful because we're trying to watch and see if we can hold out on NVIDIA. Look, a breakthrough 128, and I think that we can get out of this name. We don't need to be in it forever, and let's just be careful with it. So we're gonna get out on a little bit of a break back down below 128. We don't want the money that we made yesterday to disappear because of a play today, but I still like the long. The only thing is right now, and I know the market.
Pressure at 50.
Yeah, I mean, we just got more long. We're long at 128.50. So, but let's just see what winds up happening here. We already saw that big seller at 129. So at some point, that seller is going to probably want to ring some kind of a register right there. So let's see if they have to buy those shares back. But here it's coming in, man, a lot quicker than I had liked it to. But it's coming in, and it is NVIDIA back into the downside right now. It's a good thing we already took some profit, but right now it looks like it wants to break lower. We're going to get out at a 128, so watch out here for that break. We did average more into Apple. Our Apple trade is down here at 213, so we do have more shares waiting at 214 here for AAPL. Come on, NVIDIA, let's go. Let's do something special again.
Yeah, let's see if it can. Oh, GameStop, by the way, is trying to break out higher, but I'm into NVIDIA off the 128. We were looking for a dip buy. There was a refresher at 50s. I went in front of it. Right after we got it, it broke and then reestablished.
Just go.
Still on GameStop. Keep having to enter twice. This gets back up to those highs. I'm taking a 130 break, so I'm out in front of 130 and then long again over 130. On any long trade in GameStop, in NVIDIA, I'm out in front of 130 and then long again on a 130 breakout. Tesla's still battling 87. Longeveron doesn't seem to want it just yet. Just very quickly, I wanted to get to one name that we did not mention. Dave & Buster's was down over 10% in the pre-market. It didn't quite tag 10%. Oh, it did. Yeah, it was already down 10% in the pre-market and then tagged under 10% at the open. So it is SSR. Looking for an even dollar bounce. It might have done so at the $45 level. But if you're looking for an SSR bounce, that's the only one to be had. As said, I am covering into 130 on NVIDIA and then breaking out on the 130 is a separate trade.
Dude, if this thing gets to 130, and again, I hope that. I just want everybody has to understand that, like, everyone's trading their own style and many different share sizes. I'm getting out, even right now. Like, this is already a monster trade for me, but bidding and buying those 128.50s. So, again, do your own stuff, and that is one of the disadvantages of what we're doing. We don't exactly show our share size, so we're just gonna have to know that, I'm gonna start to scalp some of this out as we go, and if this goes to 130, goddamn. All right, what's up, Adara?
Keep an eye on some of these smaller cap crypto names and miners right now. Here we have Iris Energy here, IREN. This went up about 6.5%. Hut 8 here, HUT up about 7.5%. We're seeing a bit of a move in Bitcoin back above that 68,000 level. So small cap miner names getting a nice move up here on that, guys.
Yeah, Mara is absolutely flying. That is a pretty large candle through yesterday's highs on Mara, that 21 level. I didn't really think that would come into play. I had it the other way, 19 for a dip buy in Mara, so we can throw that out the window. If it holds 21, this could absolutely fly, but that 70,000 still looms.
Oh, man.
For Mara. So as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to see it hold that bid, and then it would be more interesting to get involved. NVIDIA's about to track that $0.50, 129.5. Once it gets to today's high, cover, breakout, long, all of that good stuff. And Tesla's tracking back toward that 190 as well.
Oh, man. I mean, here we go. So far, so good there at NVIDIA. We just took some out at 30s again on this name. And look what's happening to Apple right now. Apple right here is $1.50 now in the money and trying to go even higher. So, again, the top two names here on the sticky note, taken with confidence today. And, yeah, we just, we bought dips and who knows? It's still so early, man. It's only 9:40. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening here. Man, this has been such a good little run here over the last couple days. There it goes again. All right, well, if you're in these trades, I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the beach and have a couple margaritas or do whatever you're doing, and maybe just drink some water. Probably the best thing to do right there would be to have some water. All right, I'm gonna get out of some more NVIDIA there. It looks like it does want to push a little bit lower through 129 and change. And again, I'll take out a little bit more here at 10 if we can. It looks like it wants to, oops, we're still on Apple. NVIDIA looks like it wants to go lower. Apple's still a monster, but NVIDIA, yeah, I should start our days with espresso. Whatever I started my day with the last couple days, Ramin, I should be starting with every day. This just continues to be quite the couple minutes off the open here in this market. So let's just go, like I said to Neil, man, or like I said out loud, if this gets to 130, then just let's get Obi on the desk because I'm going to go party somewhere. Maybe we'll do that CN Tower walk and then take some pictures because we're feeling pretty lucky. All right, here we go. There we go. See ya, Chef Joe. Chef Joe is done as well. Chef Joe, go enjoy some of those porterhouses. But there it goes, man. Double barrel dollar winners, 2 for 2 here today.
Yeah, no red ones on yet, but we only have 2 trades so far. I'm going to get BRTX as well. That just broke out the high. Looks like it's going and Longeveron is not. So it's, sorry, BRTX. I might have said BRDX. BRTX, now a higher low. Just broke out the quarters. Low to low. There we go. Looking for a 2. We're going to have to take the dip back into the previous high, which is 215. I thought it might be a Longeveron kind of day for the small cap names, but it is going to be BRTX. On the offer, NVIDIA about 10 cents higher. We just got it. So NVIDIA is now going to be the breakout trade. So resisted 129.50. 130 break is going to be next for NVDA. And 190, we dip bought a couple of times in Tesla. Now going to take the break if it does hold a 190 breakout. Looks like it's going to come any second now. If we get an opportunity to short Intel, I'll let you know. The market's starting to come up, so I think we might get a chance. The only thing I wanted to short would have been that, and we're on the offer, but no fills just yet. So breakout order is going back in on NVIDIA. Dips are still back in at the 128. Let's go to Adara.
Keep an eye on Arista Networks here. This one pushing up and gaining volume. Right now up about 5% for ANET. I'm not seeing any news on this, but nice push to the upside yesterday. They got a price target increase from Morgan Stanley, and they're pushing towards this previous resistance level in the daily chart as well. So Arista Networks, guys.
All right. Look, man, it's been a good morning so far, so let's just keep the good vibes going and, just keep looking for those trades to come through. Look, on the sticky note today, we also wrote down the one weak name that we would want, and it was Amazon, and Amazon's just headed to the low side here. So I feel like, and it just reminded me because Neil was like, if we're going to short something. So I was going to short Amazon at some point. Now I think like we might have a good level here at 186.20 if it does come back up into that level. So I'm going to put an offer there just in case we go higher, but like I'm just really impressed with some of the movements here today on second and third day plays for Apple. We'll take another piece out here on Apple. Again, we're $1 in the money on this trade. We bought it off 215, and the best out is 216.40 and change one more time. All right, so we are, here comes another possible reload situation for NVIDIA. I mean, we'll take another piece, okay, or not. We'll take another piece out right there at 129. We just got 129.30s, 129.40s, 129.50s. And again, this is why I'm saying to you guys, it's the difference of trading like 1 or 2 contracts versus 10 contracts or something, right? If you have 1 contract and you're looking for 130 break, that might come through. But if you have 10 contracts down there at 128.50, you might want to take something off the table just because that 130 is such a huge level. And I don't know. Okay, well, I'm taking some off the table, so I'm trying to like talk as we trade here, and sometimes that can be a little bit difficult, but that's the idea that I'm having right now. So have a lot on, and just be able to take them off, and then go longer again through 130. So it's just ringing the register, right? Celebrating some of these trades. I'm not here tomorrow, which. But that's okay. We'll make it back, and we'll make some today, right now, immediately. So let's wait to see what winds up happening here. Right now, it's looking pretty good here for a nice upside move. We're $1.60 in the money on Apple and $1 in the money on NVIDIA. 2 for 2. The double barrels are firing today.
Let's go. Home runs to the upside. I love it. You got to explain the trade, the plan of action, the breakout. I have my order set to cross by about like 20 or 30 cents on NVIDIA to make sure we grab it, but we'll probably get a great fill like yesterday. BRTX, we got 217 long. I just got to push into 230. There's a big seller at 230 a couple of times in here. If it breaks, I'm holding for 50s or out in front of 50s. I've moved my stop up to 215, so we can't do worse than a couple of cents underneath break even. It was a breakout that we missed at 2, and then we just took the dip into the previous breakout price. Let's go to Adara.
Keep an eye on Spotify here, S.T.U.P.I.D. Not seeing much of a reaction in the stock yet, but this report just came out from the Rolling Stone saying that apparently some music publishers are filing an FTC complaint against Spotify, citing fraudulent business practices. So keep an eye on this S.T.U.P.I.D. This news just coming out here, guys.
Fraudulent business. Okay, that's not a good word that you want to hear, but
No, you don't like the fraud word.
oh, the spread on that. Yeah, you know that's not doing a lot of volume, and it's got a pretty big spread. Let's stay away from spot. Let that one settle down. There's not even any prints on the stock right now. So Nvidia's still not breaking yet. Looks like it is going to soon. Yeah, you can actually see the stop orders in, like it's up there crossing to 25. So when 130 breaks, you know, I'll send an order out to 130.25 cents and then get whatever price we're able to get. Tesla's still trying to track higher. GameStop, which we thought would be a dip play, is starting to show some signs of weakness. It was breaking out earlier. Remember, if it dips down into 25, looking for a 25 bid, it just failed 27 and tracking a little bit lower. So some weakness over there in GameStop. Intel, I'm gonna adjust plan on Intel because it's almost at $30 already.
Ooh.
This happened the other day where I was like, yeah, let's short Intel, and then never actually got into the short. And then all of a sudden it was at that $30 support level next. So we went long off the $30 level because that was the next trade. So down 2%, 30's been a big wall for Intel. If there's size or anything on the bid, I'll probably just join it at like 2s or 3s. So Intel is the dog of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Good call.
Down 2% on that.
No, good call on that, man. I mean, that was.
And they suck.
You were looking at that. So, all right. Now let's try Amazon. Amazon came up to that level that we thought. So 186, 186.50. I mean, we can weight this up to 187. You know, sometimes we like to look at pre-market levels. We know that we know that I know that I like to short, but at the same time, you know, you could be wrong, especially at 9:45. So let's hold out. Yesterday we were wrong on Amazon until we were right. So again, that's not necessarily the best strategy, just to average into these trades, and I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to give 187 a look upside. Okay, we just took out more shares on Nvidia. Like, this is starting to get like we're now starting to. I really feel like base out here at this VWAP area, and you could really be in for a nice move here if it takes out that 130. So let's stay there. We're still $1.50 or whatever in the money here on Apple, but that's not moving. So Apple is not really something that I'm super excited about right now as far as huge upside potential. But because we haven't really tested too much support, we came down once and we should have bought it again, but we didn't. And now you're starting to go back up. So maybe Apple goes. I'm a little more weary of it just because of the move that it's had. It's been so dramatic. And not to say that Nvidia hasn't had just this equally sick, if not sicker move. But again, look at the volume. This is 50 million shares. We already know sort of this story. They have the Broadcom. By the way, let's check out what Broadcom is doing. I was gonna say, maybe if Broadcom is going the other way, Broadcom's not doing anything right now. So let's just see if Nvidia wants to hold this. I may lower the amount of shares and just do a couple hundred or whatever if Nvidia breaks 130, but so far so good here on the Nvidia break. What's up, Abe?
Keep an eye on Barnes & Noble Education here, BNED. This one has been on the move a little bit over the last few weeks. No new catalyst for this one today, but yesterday they did announce that they have a new CEO, Jonathan Shar. So keep an eye on BNED, 24% short float, getting a bit of an increase in volume here, guys.
Yeah, just remember, like with that split, it's going to be less liquidity on Barnes & Noble. It's no longer a 9-cent stock, right? So keep that in mind when you're trading it. Even though it's like, I think it's $7 or $8, that's still going to be wild in terms of spread. ARM is still underneath its all-time high, $164. So there's still some room to go. It's up 3.5%. It's been a rocket ship. It just went 160 on a breakout. So I'll look to take the stairs if that's what's going to happen here on ARM. We did want to dip by, but the range was so ridiculous that I didn't think it would be likely we get any kind of a dip. So if it does pull back into 160, which it's doing right now, I'll look to take the stairs up. If it can't hold that, VWAPs at 159 will be the next level for ARM. Still about the same thing on NVIDIA, not much change there. No break yet on Tesla 190, but it is getting, every time it gets within 50 cents, I'll say something, and it just got to 189.5 on Tesla. So that's still trying to go into the upside. Come on, get to 30s or get to 60s, ARM. And 30s, I mean NVIDIA, and 160, I mean ARM. I want to see it bounce down at this level. ARM with even a 20 or 30 cent spread might see a consolidation or wait for a consolidation the way it's trading off the open. It's pretty thin.
All right. What else you guys want to talk about? GME? Yeah, okay, Ash, we'll look at GME. Look, I'm still waiting for 130 to break. I don't really have too many buys. I'm going to get out if it breaks 128. So we've talked about NVIDIA just in case we do get that move back down in for NVIDIA. We'll buy a little bit more at 128.50 and then we'll drop it at 128 break. Don't need to be in this name. We've already cashed out a heck of a lot of money on this name, so we'll wait for it for now and then just see if our Amazon trade wants to go, as Apple just making new highs right now. So, and we're long Apple. And again, the number one trade idea on here is Apple. The number two is NVIDIA. The number three is Tesla 190. So you can have a look at that. The Amazon short is on here as well. And then just notes to make sure that I'm able to look at and focus if I need to on another play, which would be GameStop or Longeveron, both of which not moving. Well, GameStop's not moving. LVGN.
Oh, there was just a size that broke on NVIDIA.
There was size that broke on NVIDIA. Okay. What am I doing? LGVN, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. There it is. Sorry, my bad. All right. So this is going downside as well. So some of these meme stocks right now will have to be put on hold for me, anyways. And as Neil just mentioned, we only have 10%, a little bit more than 10% left. We have about 20%, a little bit less. We have about 15% left or so of this NVIDIA trade. I mean, all of our outs, we haven't even got out of anything lower than where we are right now. So a little bit of a pullback would make a little bit of sense to me there if it does happen. And meanwhile, and I said I had more confidence in NVIDIA, but meanwhile it's Apple. That's all the way up. So we'll have to wait and get one more piece out here on Apple. Let's just do that right now. Fire off the hot dog cannon, because I saw Chef Joe even say in the chat there that he agrees. And it's like, if you are in a position where you have a significant amount of shares and then you're seeing P&L, and this is where I say that I chase P&L, and it's, you know, I mean when I say that. And when you're seeing this in the money, you have to reward yourself and take some out. So that's exactly what we did. So as it falls back in right here, we're kind of just ho-humming this trade. Let's see if we can get a little bit more action now to the upside, as we'll wait to average in right now at 128.50 here on NVDA. Meanwhile, Amazon is trying to do something. I'm gonna take some more here at 50. I'm waiting for 80s and then gonna use 187 as my out. So if that winds up triggering, it winds up triggering. So that's the big. Apple just went to the downside. I guess they might have heard me say I was selling it, but just kidding. I have no idea what just happened with Apple. Apple just got clocked right there.
That was a pretty big, that's a pretty big candle on Apple. Right into VWAP. Like, nothing came in the air, whatever. There's no news on Apple, and it's into VWAP. I'm buying the dip into 15s. So Apple, it's not on my chart, but Apple just dipped into 215 from 216 and dumped right into VWAP in there. I did not get filled at 20s there. Okay, so VWAP's at 30. At the end of the day, I mean, there was no news, I said. It was just a big red candle on Apple. And if it can hold 15s, great. Oh, I just added to BRTX as well. That came back into 218. So that's also headed back in. The high still that 230 level on BRTX, but obviously Apple, big red candle, but it's probably bouncing right now. The NASDAQ, for what it's worth, wicked the high of the day and then pulled back. It could be related to that, but there's no news. It was just a run-of-the-mill random move down.
Apple just came in, so we'll buy it. All right, nice move there. Back up for Apple. We just bought 20s there, 25s out, some 50 right now. We'll just put another quarter back in our pocket. I mean, we have to do that kind of stuff, right? Now let's see if it goes back up to the upside. We are very aware that, as Neil was just mentioning, like any story here on Apple could hit at any
story though.
I don't know if it was or not, but I mean, I'm buying those. It doesn't appear to be. It probably was. But right now, we'll put chicken dinner winners on the board here for Apple. But like Neil said, if this keeps on going to the downside, then obviously there is going to be a story, and there is one. Apple doesn't just drop $1.50 like that. So I just don't know it yet. Maybe you guys do. We'll find out what happened here with Apple on that move down. We also did buy NVIDIA dips. I mean, this is what we're talking about. And it's not that we're not going to go to the grave with this. We're already out at 128 if it does break lower. So that's my idea here. And so far, so good. The only one that's not working out, and I'm like probably the biggest NASDAQ bull around, and I'm here shorting Amazon. So I thought this name was going to be a good opportunity to short it. I'm sitting here at 80, which just fill me at, okay, good. I don't mind losing, but like I wouldn't want it to hit 80 and then absolutely tank when that was like kind of my line in the sand. All right, so now we're there. Let's see what happens at 187 now upside on Amazon. What's up, A?
This new small cap runner coming through, Z-A-P-P, ZAP EV. This one is up just under 100% right now, signing a memorandum of understanding with Bounce Electric for this manufacturing and sales deal in India. Also worth noting here, we do have a pretty small float in this one, 1.6 million shares, so keep an eye on Z-A-P-P, currently halted, guys.
I mean, look at this dip buy again on NVIDIA. We're going to lose on Amazon. Amazon is gone. Amazon's through 187 right now and gonzo. So we'll give some back here on Amazon. But look what's just happening with Amazon. With NVIDIA. We talked about the price that we wanted to reload it at. We reloaded it there. And then, so we'll spin the loser on Amazon. We'll spin the loser. We should do the fail right there. Amazon takes out 187. So huge move. Red to green on Amazon up to 187. I still like the short here, but we're going to have to let it settle down. Huge trade alert.
The second Apple
NVIDIA
went to the downside, Amazon went up, Meta went flying. I feel like there could have been some weird rotation thing that just happened because it's a monster green candle at this same moment while Apple is dipping in Meta up here $3. So it wasn't just Amazon. I actually think Meta's was the bigger move. So just alert to that. Meta wasn't on my radar. Apple, we did do the dip buy, but I said take some profit right away when it continued to fall. I'm on the bid trying to catch in front of 215. We're about to get it. I took some out in front of 60s, and it's still looking a little bit heavy over there on Apple. Meta, as I said, looking really strong. I just paid for locates and ARM because that rejected the you-know-what out of that 160 level and suddenly does not look as strong as it did before. This is a pretty weak looking stock after that breakout. If it can hold 157, I think there's a chance at a dip buy. But I just paid for locates in case this falls apart on ARM. I'm not shorting it right now, but that was a pretty big rejection off the 160, so I'm at least getting ready for the opportunity.
All right, I'm going to try one more time here on Amazon because, honestly, whatever happens, happens, and we already shut our trade off, the first one. We'll be back in here at 187. I mean, I have no idea what that move was about or what Apple was about, but at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. This is a shout out to Chef Joe and everybody else because we stayed long and true to NVIDIA, and there's the reload. I mean, you almost can't. We have the same prices reloaded twice for 75 cents and $1 pretty much each time. So she would? What's up, Adara?
There's some more news here on Boeing. Currently down about 1%. This is still all coming through here, but basically, apparently, Boeing is saying that it's working closely with the FAA on this fastener issue with its 787, saying that the 787 deliveries have not been paused, and the latest delivery was on Tuesday, so just kind of an upgrade here from Boeing. However, they are investigating, apparently, a new quality problem on some undelivered 787s involving that fastener. So the new 787 news on Boeing, trying to recover here, but just keep an eye on BA, guys.
All right, we'll keep an eye on Boeing.
It actually just bounced $2 off the lows points, by the way.
Okay.
So I know it's bad news, but it broke 180, went to 179. It's back at 181. Boeing is, it's had a lot of a bad run and all that kind of bad stuff, but it's not exactly tanking here on Boeing. So just, you want to give the move and see what's happening to the stock. I hope it doesn't do too poorly, obviously, but that is what it is. AMD, a lot of people are yelling in the chat, how come we're not talking about AMD? AMD's tanking. AMD's at 158, however, and it's not 30 on Intel, but 157 has been a rock bottom for AMD. It got there a couple of days ago. That'd be the only spot that I would go for any kind of a long on AMD. Speaking of Intel, I said if it would bounce off 30, I would take it. It bounced off 30.15, so not quite at that bottom. There might be a chance to short pops off of VWAP here on Intel, which is coming in at about 30, 35 or so. 34 technically, but once it's at 30, it's in the pocket.
All right, Apple is down. It is, I don't know if these are apple bottom jeans or just apple bottom, but right now, you're starting to go down, and I wish I would have. I was actually looking at Meta there for a second. I thought I was waiting at 214 to buy, but I guess I was not. I do have a stop order down there, which is strange that I don't have a buy order down there as well. We should have just got a heck of a lot longer on Apple, and we did not. So we'll take some out now as it comes all the way back, and now we're starting to print again here on Apple. So that was my bad. We should have been sitting there. I mean, that's exactly the level that we like. 200 period pullback. So we're now sitting there with a little bit more shares as we go to the downside here again. And with the busiest person at Trader TV Live, it's Miss Adara with yet again another segment. And this one is called Happening Now.
Both the SPY and the NASDAQ currently positive to start things off on a Thursday. The NASDAQ is quite a bit stronger. A lot of these moves up are motivated by these gains in tech, Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, all very strong here. Lots of things to talk about as well. GameStop, again, back on the rise. We also had some inflation data. Second day in a row, we've had inflation prints lower than expected. CPI, now PPI this morning. So nice look here on the inflation side coming off that FOMC meeting yesterday. Later today at 12 p.m., stay tuned for not one, but two potential Fed speak-related things here. We do have U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen speaking at 12 alongside Fed's Williams. Not at the same time, but just both speaking at 12 p.m., so definitely keep an eye on that. Also worth noting here, I did mention Tesla to the upside, currently up just over 7%. They have their shareholder meeting today at 4:30. Lots of things on the horizon here, specifically votes with regards to ratifying Elon Musk's $56 billion pay package and potential reincorporation move to Texas. So keep an eye on TSLA with that in mind. We also have Broadcom up here, not necessarily a day trading stock this one though, still up about 14%. Lots of positive analyst notes as well here after its earnings. They beat across the board and announced a 10-for-1 split with the stock to start trading on a post-split basis as of July 15th. Last but not least, of course, GameStop here, currently just ranging here for GME, but it is worth noting there is a shareholder meeting there at 11 a.m. Also, some speculation that RoaringKitty may have exercised some of his options. So keep an eye on all these names here at a pretty action-packed Thursday, guys.
Yeah, may have exercised.
Yeah, we don't know. I think if he did, like, he's probably just rolling it over. There's Nvidia, another dollar. This time we can hit the dollar club because this is a reloaded position right there for Nvidia. And like we said, if you're joining us for the first time, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We will, tell you our positions, tell you our stops. There's Nvidia, it's $1, it's a winner, and it's going to be by far the biggest stock here. And I was just saying to Neil, man, it's been a little bit of a tough morning as I look around, but we'll wait to see. I mean, it's just been pretty choppy, and I think that's been part of the problem. I mean, as long as like I was saying, as long as you're trading the best names and you understand that you have your stop orders in and you're trying to play momentum. I mean, there's Nvidia. And, it's always a good sign when the stock that you're talking about the most is your best stock. Our worst stock, though, is one that we did have on the sticky note as well, and that was, it is Amazon. And Amazon right here, I mean, we're trying to wait for some 80s again. It went to 70s. Let's see if it will now pull back a little bit. It was weak yesterday. It was weak today early. It hasn't been the greatest, but remember I said that I think this is going to blast up and we were just waiting for a catalyst. So I don't know if there's one inbound or not, but for right now, let's hold on to this short. I do have some bids at 187 just to get some out if it does fall back in there, and then hoping that we can get a retracement back to the 200, which is 186.50. But definitely been a little wrong on this name, to say the least, here on Amazon for today. And then we got hit yesterday short, and then we got out, and then we put the short back on once Powell left. But this is a no Powell trade today. I'm just trying to trade now, basically off of these levels where we stopped yesterday. That's that short that we hit yesterday. So we were short into this. It's actually, now that I look at this, it's ridiculous because it's the same trade. I was short here yesterday, right here. We got out on the 200 or out on VWAP, and then we passed it back through. I did the exact same trade yesterday and lost. And I did it again today. So there you go. And Chris mentioned in the chat that I said yesterday on the show that I wanted to short Apple today. So that's my bad because we're up on it. Apple's going to be P&L number 2. But at the same time, that short did pay. The short's been better than the long, but I can't complain. We're still up. Really nice on the long. So let's still see if we can hold out for that one. Now, $1 in the money, Nvidia, huge in the money on Apple, net P&L wise. And then Amazon is the huge loser, waiting for this one to fall back in.
So Tesla's about to, for the umpteenth time, Tesla's about to break 190. I'm making an adjustment on, I'll get to Nvidia in a second, but I'm making an adjustment on Nvidia. See, I still have those stickies, but there we go. What did it, yeah, I have stuck. I just punched some out for 5 cents because that went out at the wrong price, but it is what it is. I've got the stop in. It was 190 break. I'm giving it to the 75. No, it looks like it broke up, but I've been having some stickies. So when it breaks a key level, I got in position. It had to break higher, but then I didn't really see any bids that were tracking above it. It's now back above, so I'm gonna have to get it a second time through. So whether or not it broke, I got in and out, and I think I might have been in early before it actually broke to the upside, which does happen every now and then. It's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, because I got out and it was Why is it not actually above 190? So I'm gonna try to get back into this one, and I'm adjusting NVIDIA. I've been marked to that 130 level, but the high is 129.75 that it's held like 3 times in here. So I'm thinking it's a flat top break at that level. I'm gonna go back. I don't wanna get off Tesla because I'm back on the bid here. But if it's gonna break this top, it's coiling into this high, not 130. 130 is just a round number. So I'm gonna take the actual local high break of 129.75, and then at 130 it can just be an add. So just a little bit of an adjustment. It's still a breakout trade. I did get the VWAP pushback into Intel and took some out. That's still looking awfully weak, and I would be out of that trade if it so much as sniffs that $30 level. I think that's a long.
Okay, guys, like I said, it's been a minute here today. Look at we just got, by the way, we just got a 215 fill there on Apple. What is this price? 214.90, 214.88, something like that, as that continues to go as well. Look, today will be another, I mean, we'll lift the trophy today, but it's not like a super crazy day by any stretch of the imagination. We're up about a third of what we were, no, a little bit less than that, about 20% or so of what we were up yesterday at this time. But like I said, still a good day. All these trades still trying to pan out for us. And look what's happening right now to Amazon. Oh no, a nice little downside move for Amazon right now. So here we go, we'll put it right back in. We have the same amount of shares here. We'll still be net down. I mean, we have to let this trade settle itself out. But right now, we'll figure this out to the downside. I said that we were thinking about a retracement back into 50s. So if that happens, let's just put a bid out there. Take some fills as we head back into that level of 186.50. And then if it continues to go lower after that, then hopefully we have enough shares left that we're able to do some damage on that print. But there it comes right now. We've done it a little bit right now. We'll slap it up for the reload and for all the other trades that we have on today, including dollars in Apple, dollars in NVIDIA, and now pennies or 50 cents in Amazon, but we're red on that stock. So yeah, not too many red names or not too many green names around here. I know that you're in Intel now. I hope that can print out.
Well, you just got to keep it in the pocket. Like for me, I'll like small hits all day long just to be consistent with it. 191 just went, so my book's looking a little bit better. It was a break on 191. We had the 180 break. Looks like Tesla does not want to hold a 190 break. I've adjusted order on that NVIDIA 129.75 looks like it could be coming in there, so just gonna get my stop in for that one on Tesla. We did grab Intel to the short side, and I do want to grab. So there's the low on Intel. It just got to 30.20. 30 even is an out. I think 30 is a long off that level. It's been holding for a long time. GameStop, it take to 25 even. Sorry, 25.50, not 25 even, and caught a gigantic bid. So it looks like the buyers came in a little bit early on GME. We like the 25, we like yesterday's lows, but it's already a pretty big pushback through. So if this is the bottom, I might look at a VWAP level for GameStop. If this is the low, I'll look for a VWAP hold. I only want to be long unless it's $30 on GME or a fail of yesterday's lows.
Look, I'm glad Neil has Tesla there, but we have 190 long, and I don't know why. I heard Neil talking about it. I was too busy looking at Amazon there to understand what was happening. So yeah, we missed that trade, but if you didn't, then it is. You know, so that's now 80 cents in the money on that 190 long. And the long break, I heard Neil talking about it there. It was up and down, but the only time it broke, I guess there might have been a wick back down into there. I wasn't watching, but if you took the 190 break, you just had to hold it. You got $1 without having to hold it $1. So far so good there for anybody looking at Tesla. I'm now long on this name. I'm long here at 65s. So we missed the print. Let's see where it goes now. Hopefully higher. We've got this trade and we're pretty happy with it so far there. Amazon dancing, Tesla trying to go, NVIDIA, that's already a huge trade. Apple's trying to do something as well. So far so good here. Amazon is the one that just bounced off 187. So let's put some more shares in at 187 low, maybe 13s. I just put it in, see if we can capture a little bit of profit on that name. So that will be my next little area of concern for myself. But hey, it's a green day for me here today. So, and although it hasn't been an eventful one, let's just see if we can still, be here and watch out for some of these trades as there it goes, man. I didn't realize you were long at 191. I thought you were long at 190, but I still like the trade.
I had the 90 break, but I can tell you, I hit the offer. It went to the upside. It hit offer enter when I saw the push through, and the price I got was underneath 190. So there was a bit of a stuck book for me, and it happens. Like if I actually take a split second to look at the order that's getting fired out, it doesn't happen. But I did. I just hit offer enter because I thought it broke out and was going higher, and I'd get like the first push. Instead, I was literally punching out underneath 190, which is insane. But it does happen.
And there it goes.
And I can look at the price when I send that order. I was just being really quick about it. Longeveron is halted to the upside. Yeah, maybe we missed an opportunity on this. Remember that $2 level on Longeveron? It bounced off 205 while we're dilly-dallying everywhere else. It's halted 295 to the upside.
Where's your out for Tesla, by the way?
296. I'm already out.
Oh, you're already out. Okay, as I say, it's at 189.50 right now.
If I take a breakout, usually my stops will be 80s, 75s, or 50s, depending on the stock.
Right.
So like I pretty much don't have stops that are anything other than that. Longeveron, there is no tap on the stock, but you can track on your imbalance locator if you just look at what the imbalance might be. But it's a NASDAQ. Oh, it's a NASDAQ, so we're not going to get an update on it yet.
The market is coming in.
Yeah, the market's starting to come in pretty heavily, but Longeveron, sorry, the tap is exactly flat. But if it opens up breaking out 3, I'm not chasing this move. I'm going to go for a dip buy. Maybe we get something reasonable in front of VWAP at 250. We pivoted to BRTX, and that might have been a mistake on Longeveron. But as mentioned about Tesla, yeah, like if I take a breakout trade, like that's my stop almost every single time on a breakout. So yeah, obviously this is going the other direction, but we got out of the way of it. I have one short, and it's just Intel like we planned off of VWAP, but the market's starting to come in more heavily. I paid for ARM. Never mind. Hopefully somebody shorted ARM because I paid for the locate, so we'll probably sit unused now as I scratch the photo.
All right,
ARM is tanking.
Yeah, the whole market is absolutely tanking right now. We'll buy. So we did get stopped out there on a 188 break. We had written down 188 and 190. So we did take some 190s there on Tesla. But look at this. It is just dropping in right here, 188 and change. Yeah, I mean, the market's down a little bit here. I don't necessarily want to panic on these trades and just punch out at the very bottoms every time. But we did punch that Tesla level. Now we're back long and making it. Not making it all back, but we're making some back here on Tesla. Hopefully that will start to bounce back and then just like absorb that move down. But here we go for TSLA. We want to trade strong names. We talk about that over and over again. So let's trade Tesla. It just did come in. So again, we weren't too stuck up here because the minute our big trade was coming into 190. So this level here at 189, as we broke through 190, that's why I said to Neil, like, wow, where is this thing going? So I wasn't able to even average in until 188, 189.50 or so, but there's the drop out. So we definitely drop out and then we get back into the long now for Tesla. So like I said, we'll go from leading this whole place to being near the bottom now because Tesla winds up dropping back in again here. So we'll stick with it. Apple does go to the downside to 213. Again, we tried the 214 area. It breaks lower as well as this whole market starting to come off just a little bit now. I don't want to panic. I don't think it's as like crazy panicking time or anything like that. But for right now, the market definitely giving us pause for concern. But you know what's not pausing for concern at all? It's Amazon, baby. So we'll go hopefully from green, or from red, the other way around, from red to green on Amazon right now as it's finally pulling back. And here we go again, man. We're 50 cents in the money on Tesla, but we got to break through VWAP again, and I don't even know if VWAP matters. Let's put an order at 188.50. We have a lot of shares on this one, so hopefully this will make our day a little bit better here. As yeah, let's go Tesla. We're not going to do too much flossing because we got hit on it, and it will be my reddest stock, but at least the buy. We're trying to floss this name back up. We just got a decent out there, I think at 50 or whatever it was, 57. So we got a 40, a 50, and a 57 there back upside for Tesla. But here goes the break lower again. The market is going to go, it's under VWAP. We've had such a good run. Maybe this is the day that we finally pull some back here. So let's reanalyze and potentially go short. We're already short Amazon $1.
Yeah, overnight lows are about to come in on the market. Longeveron has opened back up. It failed the high of the day. I still want to go for the dip buy. It's not at VWAP in here, and Blue Ocean's only good after market. So it's not really failed into VWAP just yet, but it is on the midst of a pullback. So we're looking for a dip off the open. I said I would not chase this. You don't want to FOMO yourself.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, like we did like this one initially better than BRTX, and then we went over to BRTX anyways, but it's starting to calm down on this pullback. 250 is VWAP, 250 is an opening range bottom. NVIDIA just came back into 128.50. Okay, well, I thought this would get to VWAP before NVIDIA got to that price, but I'm looking for a 250 bounce here on LVGN, and I just remembered I can get a stop order locked and loaded ready to go, so that if I do get the bid down here in front of 60s, I don't have to worry about being covered underneath VWAP. So NVIDIA just pulled right back into support. And let's see if it can get back into VWAP itself. It's one of the only things, I haven't checked everything, but one of the only things I was looking at that hasn't made a fresh low in that last move. As I mentioned, ARM completely fell apart here and got down to $150. I paid for locates, and I think I want to short a pop in ARM back into like 55, 56. If this is unwinding or doing a pullback day, it was a $13 move top to bottom or bottom to top yesterday. Even half that on a retracement off of VWAP would be insane. So if this gets back to the upside, if it's a turnaround day, it didn't get to the all-time high that we were thinking it could. I'd play this one to the short side under VWAP, but it's nowhere near it yet. It still has to go at least another $3.
All right, we are not buying any more NVIDIA. So if you guys are wondering, like, okay, it's back into this level that this guy's been trading, I'm not buying any more of it. Tesla just continues to go lower. We're able to get some out there, but it's now at 187. So we're gonna get out of Tesla, and then here comes NVIDIA screaming lower. So we're gonna stop out of this once it breaks. I'm just double checking my order here on NVIDIA. I guess we're not getting that 130 break. 128. So if this breaks 128 clean, then we're gonna get out of that. So that's gonna be a trade for me that we'll try to get maybe a little bit more down near 128. But honestly, you know, we got to be careful with what we're doing. The market it's not even down. It's still nicely up, but this move is pretty aggressive there to the downside. And it's even continuing. Breaking, as Neil mentioned, the pre-market lows right now. So, okay, yeah, things getting spicier and spicier as we go. Apple, we're out. Possible reload, but I'm looking for shorts now. Tesla, we got out a long time ago, 187.50 on that break. Now it's 186 and change and still going lower. I mean, the pre-market lows are right here, or I guess the open, 186.50. Now that I see this, potentially a reloading spot here on Tesla, but again, I never really understood this whole why it was up 9, 8, 10% today on this news. But
Motivated Elon, I think, is the logic people were saying.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And I said that too off the open. I said, now you're going to get a happy Elon Musk. So that should be something to look out for. But at the end of the day, happy or not, the stock does not appear to be too happy. What is this wick? That is 185.75.
They also got slapped with, they're going to get their own special tariff in Europe as well, was the news for them, which isn't necessarily good news, but they already said they're going to raise prices, and in Europe they're going to have to. So that would be, I don't know, you can look at that both directions, I think. So I got long Jeveron, and it didn't bounce off 250, so I want to quickly just mention, if I had gotten 250, I'd have a stop underneath like 45s. But instead, it turned at 270. So it turned here, and I grabbed the 75 long, so my stop's going to be under 65. It's just an adjustment. It's just where it happened to go. So we'll try to respect it there. Intel is definitely making a turn. We're shorting into ARM, back into VWAP in here, so we grab 54, 34. Load that one up. I'm waiting underneath the pre-market lows here on ARM. I'm going to stop at 57. As I said, if this one is unwinding today, I just feel as if like where this came from yesterday was like 147 and like $145. So I think underneath VWAP is like a $10. It's like a potential $10 move if it fails VWAP today, which is rare for ARM. So I'm going to treat it as such. We're in the long Jeveron. NVIDIA is still attempting to bounce off 128. I'm not even looking at AMD. I don't think I've called it up more than once today. It's going to be Intel or NVIDIA for me on the chip name. Let's go to Adara.
Keep an eye on Garmin here. GRMN, Citron Research releasing a tweet saying that they think that Garmin could go to $100 within the next 12 months, currently trading around 160, so that's going to drop. Basically, the thesis for their short case is that Garmin is having a bit of diminished returns compared to Apple with their Apple Watch update, saying that Garmin might not be able to compete with all of these updates for the Apple Watch, specifically with regards to fitness. So GRMN to the downside on Citron Research tweet, guys.
Watch. we were just talking about this. Yeah, it's like the Apple Watch is getting just as good. And then Neil was talking about the price of it.
Garmin is stupid expensive.
Yeah.
My wife has one, my sister-in-law has it. It's like people like triathletes and like distance athletes, they're like Garmin was the thing. But it's like they're married to it, despite the fact that you can get a million other options. Whoop is one of them that are much more reasonable and just as good, if not better sometimes. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I try not to argue with my wife about that one too much, but you can tell what I feel about it.
All right. Okay, so Tesla keeps falling. Amazon's not really falling as much as the market, so I think we're going to be wrong on that one. But that's why we called 186.50, and when you're short calling and it hits, I mean, that's good. We also called Tesla, which just continues to go down. I've just tried this bottom there, and then it broke 186. So I don't know. We could start to go up from here. The market's going to have to lead the way. I feel like if the market goes down, they're going to sell names that are hugely up. You know, and that's that name. I don't necessarily agree with that, but if that's what they're going to do, that's what they're going to do, and not much can be done about it. All right, there's NVIDIA. We're almost at our stopping spot here of 128.50. So buying the dips today has not been, well, buying the dips early was working great, and it might still work now, but here comes NVIDIA all the way down again. We don't have a big position at all. Look at the size there at 128. Again, if it breaks it, it probably just continues lower. We're going to get out probably 20 cents or so off of this hit. So right now, lower than 128. So we just saw some decent size there at 128. Let's see if it does wind up holding now those bottoms. And then Apple, again, could be something, just taking the 200 period. We probably should have tried something at 213, but we are nervous a little bit about as this move goes downside there and what exactly is happening right now. So, all right, NVIDIA is going to break. Oh, no, it's not. We got some shares there at O's, so let's see if we can get 20 cents on it. As I thought it was just going to break, and I think it will. But before that maybe does happen or maybe does not, let's go over to Adara at the desk, and when we come back, I believe it will be broken.
After a really great day yesterday, IWM to the downside, now down just under 1% on the day. Trying to hold on to support here around 202, but a bit of a rejection we've seen a couple times at this 202.40 level. Some interesting technicals for the Russell 2000 this morning. Lots of small cap movers today, including S.T.U.P.I.D. This was a little bit of a late comer. This one currently up around 200%. Multi-halter Z.A.P.P. is an EV company signing a memorandum of understanding with this Bounce Electric for manufacturing and sales in India. Also worth noting with ZAP, you've got a short float of, a total float of 1.6 million shares, a small float for ZAP EV. We also have Longeveron here, of course, LGVN. This one initially started trading higher yesterday with traders circulating this report from ZAC Small Cap Research giving the stock a $15.10 price target. So nice look for LGVN, day two move. Last but not least, Go EV. Canoe is the name of the company. This one has traded higher before for this GOEV. No particular news on this one today, up about 20%. Short float, though, of over 10%. So nice look here for this one as well, guys.
All right.
By the way, the market's going down. Broadcom it broke its low. It's starting to fill the gap. It's still up 11%, obviously, but starting to fill the gap in here is Broadcom. That is worth mentioning. LGVN did pop a little bit for me, and then let me just get back into LGVN. Remember I said, because I took the long instead of 250, in front of 250, we grabbed it at the 275. It tagged 85, it tagged 90, and then pulled right back underneath 65. So even though it didn't break VWAP, I had mentioned that my stop was going to be higher because it bounced higher. So if we get a push off VWAP, I'll probably try it another time here on LGVN. Is that one headed downside? I said I hadn't really looked at AMD outside of the one time. AMD 158 and down 1%. It's not looking good for them. If AMD loses 157, like 150 is the next level on the daily chart. It's back under the 50 period. So I all of a sudden find myself only short Intel and ARM, which the market is an interesting one because I can tell you right now, I had zero expectation that that's what the positions I would be in at 10:30. I thought we'd be cruising on longs, and the exact opposite has happened. But I guess you got to stay nimble at times. I'm asking myself why I wasn't considering an AMD fail, but sometimes you miss an obvious trade. And I'm here to admit, I was looking at NVIDIA and Intel thinking those would be the ones today. You basically wicked the high yesterday on AMD by about 20 or 30 cents. and it's been Flush City with almost no green. Just all red until it got down about $4. That's a wild one for AMD today, but it is what it is. You got to work with what you got.
Yeah, so look, it broke 128. We said that we would try to, obviously we're still up on NVIDIA, we don't have to worry about that, but we were looking at reversing into some of the positions, right? So we have 128.50, which we probably, that was that level that we said we were not gonna reload. I feel like that, once we started to have that feeling there, we should have shorted that level. So now that we're short at 127.80 here, we're gonna have to wait. Like if that comes back up to 128.50 and then we just get thrown around at this level, fine. But we've seen sort of the bottom come out of NVIDIA a couple times in its history of trading. And that included, I think it was it last week or something, we fell like $50 or something like that. Not that it's gonna fall $5 now or anything like that, but it does have that ability. And I was just sort of saying the other day, oh yeah, our daily chart is no good on this. Here, let me just call up another platform. This has been just such a good move since that split right here. So it's like we came in, split out at, I think it was 1180, 1180 gave us a 118 price level, but as you can see, we're up to 128, 127 in just 3 days. It's only Thursday now, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then today being that final day. So we'll wait to see now if NVIDIA does pull back in. Wouldn't surprise me if it does sort of have that move in it. So we'll hold on to this. We're banking on this trade. We're not yet. We're gonna, hopefully we will. We'll put a bid out here at 50s just to get out of 10%. And then we'll put another bid at 25s or so to get out of another 10%. And then hopefully, am I at 50 exactly? No, we get that fill, so there it is. So again, we'll make back right now what we lost on that long, but we still lost on it, and it's not good. My whole day is this stupid trade on Tesla. Hopefully we can rectify that at some point, but wow, like Tesla breaking, everyone here is long. This is why it's gonna be a pretty bad day. Everybody's long here on Tesla. You had to have that opinion that what the heck is going on with this stock today, because you're giving back a lot. It was up 10%. Now you're only up 3.5%. So this stock definitely giving it up. And then NVIDIA just bounced off 50 again. Let's put another 5% down there. There we go. We'll take a 60 fill. And now hopefully that move will happen. And by the way, Amazon, man.
Brendo.
That one is so stupid. But I like it anyways. Right there, 186.08. Right there for Amazon. I just put a bid at 08s. I thought we got filled, but we did not. So let me just punch some out there. We'll punch some 15s, 16s, get it out, cancel our 8 now, because we got to have this tick. And it's not just for looks, it's because we're broken down. And you see all this stuff underneath here? I mean, we could hold this 186. So it'd be silly for me to just be so focused on NVIDIA to miss this Amazon breakdown as well. So we're not missing NVIDIA now, baby. Now we're in the money. And this takes, honestly, for me, this has been a big change. And we've talked about that, the ability to reverse it. Now, we did not reverse it on Tesla, which would have been
That was a pretty
moonshot, but this is a serious one to the downside as well. So I mean, it's $1 on the NVIDIA reversal here, and it would have been like $3 or $4 on Tesla. But that name appears to be broken temporarily.
What's not broken yet is Apple, at least. Apple holding the line at 213. It closed at 213. Pre-market low at 213. It's bounced 3 times at 213. If there's a bounce to be had, I think going to this name makes some sense. There's been some counter. We've seen it before, where it goes counter to what NVIDIA is doing, and you get rotation from one to the other. The other thing that happened is Meta. We're talking about the strength over in Meta, like for a hot minute. Now Meta absolutely tanking. The 500 level looks pretty good there. I might have got shaken out of Longeveron, unfortunately. But Longeveron just wicked me. I made the bottom wick in there with that stop. It's still above VWAP, still looking pretty good. Volume settling in there, 65. So one more chance for it to bounce off VWAP. Otherwise, I'm taking the higher low again. And I'm gonna get on the bid. It looks like it's about to hold this 70 level. Some size there at the 70s. My stop is VWAP on ARM. I'm in here on the bid for both those lows. But if it takes out VWAP, it's got $5 from VWAP to the high of the day. So it's obviously got a wide range on it. I think if it tanks, I think it gets down to 150 bucks. It's sitting at 155 right now. But if it breaks out VWAP 57, that would also mean it breaking back to yesterday's highs. Oh wait, here comes the dip in Longeveron. If it doesn't get to VWAP, then I'm gonna play it off to 70 one more time. Let's go to Adara for the crypto update.
Saw an interesting article here with regards to some intense bullishness, some Bitcoin whales coming in on Tuesday. They don't have the data for Wednesday yet, but apparently Tuesday, crypto whales were picking up about $1.4 billion worth of Bitcoin. And this came as Bitcoin hit its lowest supply in almost 3 years since December 2021. So this is a nice look. It's apparently the largest inflow day for Bitcoin whales since those ETFs began trading or a renewer, so in late February. So nice look here for this Bitcoin addition there at the time. We do have Bitcoin as well here on the daily chart, continuing again to find a bit of a hard time here with that 71, 72,000 level. After a move up to 68,000, we're giving up a little bit of that today thus far. Currently 67.3 for BTC. Ethereum also falling back a little bit here to below 3,500 level. BNB, Solana, Ripple, Dogecoin, Cardano, all pretty significantly to the downside. Not a lot of strength in the crypto markets today, guys.
All right. Wow. I mean, NVIDIA is very, very, very impressive. I mean, we tried to get that short, and then it broke back above 128.50. You know, the market is really starting to bounce again. Like, these PPI and CPI days and things like that, and especially a day after Fed, and I know I said I would want to short Apple yesterday, and thanks to Chris for bringing that up to me before. The thing is like, I'm guessing that we're just sort of carrying the day again here on the NASDAQ, right? I mean, the NASDAQ did fall temporarily. I mean, this is one of the more dramatic ones that we've seen, just because we only have one green candle before eventually now trying to get back to the upside. So yeah, pretty dramatic day here in the markets, needless to say, as I feel like I've been thrown around a lot. I don't know about other people. I mean, this Amazon short's been okay.
This has been it's what's the word? It's like a seesaw kind of day.
Seesaw's a good one.
I think it's a big time seesaw day. No questions asked about it. Apparently we're going right back over to Adara. More on the desk. Busy up at the desk.
Busy indeed. We do have Ming-Chi Kuo. This is that noted Apple supply chain analyst. He's now tweeting here about Qualcomm's QCOM. Not much of a reaction here for Qualcomm right now, but basically Ming-Chi Kuo tweeting out this article he's written about some new growth drivers for QCOM. So keep an eye on Qualcomm here, trying to push a little bit higher, guys.
So Qualcomm pushing higher, Apple pushing higher along with that. We did mention that. Back to VWAP on Intel. So suddenly, now Intel catches a bid? Really? Is that what we're telling me? Like, it's down one. This was down when everything else was up. And I guess logic would be that now it's caught a bit of a bottom. It didn't get to 30, but I reloaded it VWAP anyways because the trend is still going to be in there. Longeveron did come in. We got the bounce there. Apple, I'll probably just cancel this bid at 213 on Apple. It's almost at VWAP as we speak, so I think we missed that bottom there on Apple. You had to be locked and loaded and ready to go right when it got there. I said if Longeveron did not break that 70, I'd get back in there instead of VWAP, so it bounced off 70 and I grabbed 72s on the long side. I'm still gonna scalp out into 3 and want to hold a break. I'm not taking any breakouts on this stock today. I want to go dip buying and then try to hold a piece through the break and then add if it holds a bid above 3, which you can see it did not hold a bid above $3. Immediately rejected it. And that was after a halt. If it goes into another halt, I'm holding. An up halt, I'm holding through. A down halt, I should be out because I adjust my stop as it goes higher. Not holding any longs through any down halts on a stock like this. It literally, as we said, look at that. No, come back. 85, 90. Stop underneath. No matter what, I'm always going to have stops on stocks like this. If you make bottom wick, you make bottom wick. Who cares? I'd rather be green and miss out than get caught in a down halt and this thing does like 40 or 50% on you in one shot.
All right, it's just getting more and more violent around here for me. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, things aren't going